Good morning, children.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Children, we had completed our sample question paper, long answers also.
No, ma'am, we had done till
No,
question number
ma'am.
11, and after that you were asking assertion and reasoning.
Some of the questions were left.
Yes, ma'am.
Mobile.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, children. Just wait 1 minute. So which question was left? Just read out that question. Question
Ma'am,
read
question
करो.
number-
1 minute. रुक जाओ थोड़ा रुक.
Good morning, ma'am.
One of you please read out that question which we have to revise. So that I can
Question
come to that
number-
only.
Question number 12.
11.
Classify
Ma'am,
the-
question
number 12. Ma'am, question number 12.
Question पढ़ो
No,
ना.
ma'am. Classify
Just
the
read the
various
question.
sources of classify the various sources of energy on the basis of availability along with an example of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. हाँ ठीक है. Classify the various sources of energy on the basis of availability along with the examples of each. Okay, now students. Participants, please. Aditya Raj, 8F.
Yes, ma'am. On the
Aditya
basis
Raj.
of availability, resources are classified into two groups: renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are also known as inexhaustible resources, as they can get renewed after one's use. Example of renewable resources are wind energy, tidal energy, solar energy. Non-renewable resources are also called exhaustible resources because they cannot get renewed and get back into its original form after once get used. Examples: coal, petroleum, etc.
Okay. Now next, Sarah.
Yes,
Sarah
ma'am.
Singh,
Yes,
define
ma'am.
calorific value of fuel.
Yes, ma'am. Amount of heat energy produced by burning 1 kilogram of fuel.
In
Okay.
pure oxygen.
Then one more question is there in the same question. It is attached. Half kg of a given fuel produces 10,000 kilojoule of energy on burning. What is the calorific value of the fuel?
20,000 kilojoules per kg.
20,000 kilojoules.
1,000 kilojoules.
Okay. How can you solve? 10,000 divided by
10,000 into 2.
10,000. How will you
10,000 into 2. 10,000 into 2.
10,000 into 2?
Yes, ma'am.
No?
Ma'am, you
2
said
कैसे
half.
होगा?
Ma'am, you
हाफ के जी है ना?
so
तो
ma'am, it
500
will
ग्राम
be
से उसको डिवाइड करोगे. Is it okay? समझ रहे हो कैसे कैलकुलेट करोगे?
kg by kg.
शुभ नारायण, you tell how will you calculate this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The energy produced is 10,000, and the mass of the fuel given is half kg. So 10,000 divided by half kg is equal to x divided by 1 kg. So the answer will x value of x will be 20,000 kilojoules.
20,000 or 2,000?
Ma'am, 20,000.
2000.
हमको लग रहा है 2,000 होगा. 20,000 नहीं होगा, 2,000 होगा.
Ma'am, 20,000 होगा.
ma'am 20,000.
ये किलो जूल है, केजी है, केजी को अच्छा हाँ 20, इसको फिर कन्वर्ट करोगे किलो में. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट. ये आप लोग कर लिए थे ना, वुडन बॉक्स A and an iron box B of the same dimension.
No, ma'am.
This one we had done.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
This
चलो
question was
चलो ठीक है, इसको करते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज a wooden box A and an iron box B of the same dimensions are placed on a table. Both are pulled so that they start sliding on the table. In which case more force will be required and why? Ananya.
Yes, ma'am. Iron box B will require more force to move. Even wooden box has more rough surface because force pressing each other together also determines the force of friction acting. And even wooden and iron box have same dimensions. Iron box will have greater mass. Hence, box B will require more force.
Okay. Next, correct. Answer is correct. Next, who will answer? Navya. The walls
Yes,
of a
ma'am.
plastic bottle gets deformed when we remove the hot water from the bottle and quickly close its lid. Explain why.
The wall of the plastic bottle gets deformed when we remove the hot water from the bottle and quickly close its lid because the hot water heats up the air in the bottle and causes it to expand. A good part of air inside the bottle, therefore, escapes out. When the lid is not quickly closed, there is less air inside the bottle. The pressure of the outside air, therefore, becomes more than the pressure of the inside air. It is this difference in the pressure acting inwards that can deform and crush the bottle.
Okay. Next. Next is Raghuveer Ranjan. Are you there?
Yes,
Raghuveer?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
बोलिए. Rubber suckers are used for installing hooks in a room. Explain why. This is also based on your atmospheric pressure.
Yes, ma'am.
Anupriya, can you answer?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
Rubber suckers are used for installing hooks in a room. Explain why. When the air sucker is pressed on the wall, the air between the sucker and the wall is forced out. The external air pressure hold it firmly against the wall, and it help the air sucker to install hooks. That's why rubber suckers are used for installing hooks in the room.
Okay. Now, Kavish. Kavish.
Yes, ma'am.
Compare plant cell and animal cell on the basis of following: cell wall, plastids, and vacuoles.
Ma'am, cell wall is present in the plant cell. It gives a definite shape to the plant cell, whereas it is absent in the animal cell. Plastids are plant cell. It is responsible for characteristic color of different parts of the plant, whereas it is absent in animal cell. Vacuoles. A plant cell has one large vacuole for storing food and other things, whereas it is absent one small amount in animal cell.
Okay, correct. See, children, this question, it has made it easier for you all not to get confused, because sometimes in difference question, you all write the similarity. So don't get confused at that time. Similarity, you don't have to write, and you think that you have written the points, like you differentiate it on the basis of mitochondria, Golgi complex. So that will be wrong. That will be a similarity, not the difference. Clear? ये आप लोग ध्यान रखोगे. ये तो आपको डायरेक्ट दे दिया है कि इस बेसिस पर आप डिफरेंशिएट करो, लेकिन कभी कभी एग्जाम में नहीं भी दिया रहेगा, आपको सीधा दिया रहेगा डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स. So give the differentiation point, not the similarity point. Is it understood by all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Vashvi, next question to you. Give
Yes,
reason
ma'am.
for the following. The blue color of copper sulfate solution disappears when magnesium ribbon is dipped in it. Why does it happen? Vashvi Sagar.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
The blue color of copper sulfate solution disappears when magnesium ribbon is dipped in it.
Yes, ma'am. Magnesium, it form magnesium sulfate plus copper solution.
So why does this happen? इसका रीजन क्या है? रीजन बताओ. मोहित.
Ma'am, can I?
मोहित राज को बोल रहा है. मोहित राज. बोलो. The blue color of copper sulfate solution disappears when magnesium ribbon is dipped in it. Why does it happen? You have to give the reason. What are you telling? Next, who I can answer
Ma'am, I
this?
know.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I
Navya.
know. Ananya.
I'm Shubh Narayan.
Ma'am Sarah.
नारायण बोलो।
मैम अनन्या।
Yes,
ठीक
ma'am.
है, इसके बाद
Yes, ma'am. The blue color of copper sulfate solution disappears when magnesium ribbon is dipped into the solution. Because when a more reactive metal, that is magnesium, is dipped in a solution of a less reactive metal, that is copper, the higher reactive metal displaces the lower reactive metal in the solution. Hence, the
yes,
magnesium displaces copper from the copper sulfate and becomes a magnesium sulfate, which is colorless. And the copper deposits on the magnesium ribbon.
yes, correct. Others, those who are not knowing the reasoning, they should also just listen carefully the answer, that it is due to displacement reaction of one metal displacing the other, the more reactive one displacing the lesser reactive metal and making the solution colorless. Ananya, stainless
Yes, ma'am.
steel is preferred over iron for making cooking utensils.
Because steel is an alloy and is more stronger, harder, and more resistant to corrosion than iron.
Yes. Once, children, this question was asked in 3 marks. And most of you have written only 1 point. So just keep in mind that resistant to corrosion, harder, less reactive, these all are the 3 points of this answer. So how cleverly you have to make points, that should be knack should be there in you, so that you can answer according to the marks. Correct answer is that. The next question is, graphite is used in batteries. Navya, give me the reason
Yes,
why.
ma'am. Graphite is used in batteries as it is a good conductor of electricity.
As it is a good conductor of electricity. Now, next question, all of you, wherever you have noted it down, keep that question in front of you, then you can answer properly. Complete the following table based on physical properties of elements. Then, Priyanshu Rajak. First question is, take some crystals of iodine and beat them with a duster. What is the observation and what is the result? Reason, sorry. Take some crystals of iodine and beat them with a duster. What is the observation and what is the reason? Priyanshu Rajak. Priyanshu, do you know the answer? Okay. Mohit Raj.
Ma'am.
बोलिए इसका आंसर बोलिए. You have to complete the following table on the basis of physical properties of element. First is the activity is take some crystals of iodine and beat them with a duster. What is the observation and what is the reason according to physical properties of elements? आयोडीन का क्या होगा जब आप बीट करोगे उसको, हैमर करोगे?
The crystals
Observation,
break
what
down
will be
into
the
small
observation?
pieces.
Aditya Raj, can you answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
The crystal break into small pieces because iodine is a non-metal and it is not harder. Therefore, it is easy to beat and break into pieces to non-metal.
Harder, or will you say that it does not have the property of malleability? Malleability and ductility नहीं होता उसमें, या टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ नहीं होगा, ठीक है? हार्डर भी है,
yes, ma'am.
लेकिन उसके फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी के बेसिस पर आप इसको रीजन करोगे, ठीक है?
मैम फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी में हार्डनेस भी है एक।
हाँ है, लेकिन हमको लगता है वो थोड़ा इसमें उसको एप्लीकेबल कम हो, क्योंकि हार्डर तो बहुत सारे सब्सटेंस होते हैं, जैसे कि गोल्ड और सिल्वर भी हार्डर है, लेकिन उसमें क्या होता है, एल्युमिनियम भी हार्डर होता है, लेकिन उसमें एक क्या प्रॉपर्टी होता है कि
डक्टिलिटी।
वो ब्रिटल नहीं होता, वो जल्दी टूटता नहीं है, उसमें मैलेबिलिटी और डक्टिलिटी की प्रॉपर्टी होती है। लेकिन आप इसको रीजन करोगे इस तरह से कि एज इट इज अ नॉन मेटल, इट डज नॉट शो
Low
द
tensile
प्रॉपर्टी
strength.
ऑफ मैलेबिलिटी एंड डक्टिलिटी। ठीक है, दैट विल बी मोर प्रोमिनेंट रीजन। ठीक है,
यस मैम।
नेक्स्ट इज who will answer? Sarah, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Take some hot water in a beaker and place one end of an iron rod in it. What will be your observation and what is the reasoning?
Ma'am, observation, after some time we can see that the whole iron rod gets heated up. The reason will be because the metal solid are good conductors of heat, hence they get heated up.
Okay, correct. Now, next question. Anupriya,
Yes, ma'am.
connect two terminals of a battery with the two terminals of a small bulb using a copper wire. What will be your observation and what is the reason?
Yes, ma'am. Observation will be bulb starts glowing, and reason behind this metals are a good conductor of electricity.
Yes, ठीक है, very good. Now next, Navya, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
तो next question है, do you think that it is right to blame the mother for the sex of the child? Give reason for your answer.
No, mother is not responsible for determining the sex of the child, as the egg will always have 22 plus X chromosomes, while the sperm will have either 22 plus X or 22 plus Y chromosomes. Therefore, during fertilization, if an egg fuses with 22 plus Y sperm, then the resultant zygote will develop into a male child, and if egg fuses with 22 plus X sperm, then the resultant zygote will develop into a female child.
Okay, next, Aditya Raj.
यस मैम।
आप बोलिए, mention the names of excuse me, mention the names of any three products obtained through the destructive distillation of coal along with one use of each.
Yes, ma'am. Three products obtained from destructive distillation of coal are coal tar, coal gas, and coke. Coke is used for making food, and it is also used for as water gas. Coal tar is used for making road perfumes, etc. And coal gas is used for making perfumes.
Perfumes.
Ma'am, coal gas is not
gas
used for
in
making
domestic
perfume.
and industrial.
Domestic
ma'am.
fuel
Yes,
and
ma'am. Domestic
industrial
and
fuel.
industrial fuel.
ठीक. Now next question, Supriya.
Yes, ma'am.
A-type Supriya.
Yes,
Fuel in gaseous state are considered the best. Justify the above statement.
Fuels in gaseous state are considered as the best because they are supplied in cylinders or through pipelines. That's why their transport costs get lowered. Second, gaseous fuels release less amount of harmful gases as compared to solid or liquid fuels. Third, gaseous fuels release large amount of energy. Fourth, gaseous fuels can easily be ignited even with a small spark. Their rate of combustion can also be controlled with the help of control valve.
Yes. Aryan Raj, are you there? Aryan Raj, 8G.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me and list any 3 conditions that help in getting a smooth and firm deposit during electroplating.
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
Huh?
Ma'am, please repeat the question.
And list any 3 conditions that help in getting a smooth and firm deposit during electroplating.
Ma'am, the article to be electroplated should be made the cathode of an electrolytic cell. The anode is made of that pure metal which is to be coated on the article. And third, a suitable soluble salt of the anode metal is taken as the electrolyte.
Yes, correct. एक बार और कोई बोलो इसको. Pallavi Sangam. Do you know this answer? Pallavi, enlist any 3 conditions that help in getting a smooth and firm deposit during electroplating.
Ma'am, may I Vashvi?
Bolo.
Yes, ma'am. First, the articles to be electroplated should be made up of the cathode of an electrolytic cell. Second, a suitable soluble salt of the anode metal is taken as the electrolyte. And third, the anode is made of that pure metal which is to be coated on the article.
Okay, next, Yashvi. Yashvi Rai, 8G. Vansh Raj. Utkarsh Raj. Why don't you all respond? Utkarsh Raj, 8E. Srijan, because you all don't learn the questions. Srijan, mention any 3 properties of hydrostatic pressure. Utkarsh Raj, not responding. Shrishti Sinha. Shaurya. Rudra. All are just sitting idle over there. Ronit.
Yes, ma'am.
Boliye. Mention any 3 properties of hydrostatic pressure.
The properties of hydrostatic pressure are: first, liquid exert an equal pressure on the walls of any object. An external pressure applied in a closed container is transmitted uniformly on the liquid. And the third is liquid pressure on the bottom of the container does not depend on the area of the object.
Okay. Now, after that, Prince. Prince?
Yes, ma'am.
आप बोलिए. Mention the name of different parts of female reproductive system along with the function of each of the part.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, ovary. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, production of eggs, which receive the sperms and providing the site of fertilization. Ovaries, which produce the eggs, and मैम बस इतना ही पता है
और कोई?
Uterus.
Vaishali, do you know the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
May I
Yes,
say?
ma'am. Ovary produces egg. Oviduct provide the site for fertilization. Uterus development of embryo takes place.
What is hermaphrodite animal? Yeah,
Ma'am,
define
can I?
hermaphrodite.
Ma'am,
Ma'am.
Aditya Raj.
Yes, ma'am. When animal produces both the gametes of male as well as female, when a single animal produces both male and female gametes, the animal is called the hermaphrodite animal.
Okay, Ananya.
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
does fertilization occur in human beings, and how does the zygote formed eventually develop into fetus?
Fertilization takes place in the initial part of the oviduct. The zygote, after its formation, immediately divides into two cells. These cells then divide again and again to make a cluster of new cells. And this resulting cluster of cells makes its way to the uterus or womb. This cluster of cells is called the embryo. The embryo then plants itself in the inner lining of the uterus and continues dividing to make a billion of new cells. It gradually develops into different parts of the body, like hands, legs, and etc. When the embryo reaches the stage where all its body parts can be identified, it is called the fetus, and the fetus, when born, is known as the infant.
Yes, have you completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, once again, कोई एक बच्चा और इसको बोलो. Kavish.
Navya.
Okay, I have told Kavish. After that, Navya, you. Kavish.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell this question again.
Yes, ma'am.
Where does fertilization occur in human beings, and how does the zygote form eventually develop into an infant?
Ma'am, fertilization takes place in the initial part of the oviduct. The zygote immediately divides into two cells, and again the next couple of days, and the resulting cluster of cells makes its way to the uterus. This cluster of cells is called embryo. The embryo plants itself in the lining of the and continues dividing itself to make billions of new cells to form different body parts like head, hands, eyes, etc. When the different body parts be identified, it's called fetus. When the fetus born, it is called infant.
Okay. Then after that, Navya.
Yes,
Navya, you tell this answer again.
Fertilization takes place in the initial part of the oviduct. The zygote immediately divides into two cells. These cells then again divide again and again over the next couple of days, and the resulting cluster of cells makes its way to the uterus. These cluster of cells is called the embryo. The embryo plants itself in the lining of the uterus and continues dividing its cells to make billions of new cells. It gradually develops different body parts like the heads, eyes, legs, etc. When the embryo reaches its stage when all its body parts can be identified, it is called fetus, and the fetus, when born, is called an infant.
Then Astha. 8F Astha. Are you ready to answer? Aditi Priya. Aditi Priya. Prince.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Prince, you tell me, define hermaphrodite.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, Aditi.
After reading,
May I say?
Aditi, you didn't respond. That is why I have told Prince.
Yes,
Bolo.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The animals and the animals which produce both gametes, both male and female gamete, which the
Gamete nahi bolo. Don't say gamete. It is gametes.
yes, ma'am. The animals which produce both gametes is called these types of animal is called hermaphrodite.
Both the gametes in the same individual. Okay.
Yes.
Same individual produces both the gamete. Then that is known as hermaphrodite. Next. Aditi, you were asking, na? Aditi Priya.
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo, mention any three properties of hydrostatic pressure.
Yes, ma'am. बताते हैं. The hydrostatic. The
May I, ma'am,
properties of
Leslie?
liquid pressure, hydrostatic pressures are liquid pressure on the bottom of the container does not depend on the area of the bottom. Liquid pressure at any point inside the liquid depends upon the density of the liquid and the height of liquid column above the point.